All right, so today we're diving into something pretty big.
Yeah, okay.
Do Human Future.
By Shawn Wondunna Foley.
Yeah, exactly. Published just last week, actually, January 20th,
It really makes you think.
2025. And this one, well, it's got spaceships.
It's got the stars.
It's got all that.
Yeah, it's looking way out there.
Way out there. But it's all...
But it's also looking inward,
Yeah.
you know? Like, what do we have to do to even get to that point?
To even be ready.
Right. To even be ready for that kind of future as a species, you know, not just like, oh, we build a faster rocket.
Exactly.
It's deeper than that.
So can humans actually become an interstellar species? That's what we're trying to figure out today.
Well, Wondunna Foley seems to think so.
They do.
But there's a catch. There's always a catch.
Right. There's got to be.
So they argue that, like, the key to all this, to us evolving to that point, depends on us recognizing our interconnectedness.
Interconnectedness. It's a big word.
It's a big idea.
But what's it actually mean, though?
Okay, so think about it this way. We usually think of ourselves as individuals, right?
Right.
Separate, competing, gotta get mine.
Got to get mine.
Yeah. But Wondunna Foley uses this example throughout history, like competition for resources, land, water.
Yeah, all the things everyone fights over.
All that, yeah, has been a major driver of conflict, right?
Makes sense.
But what if we really truly grasped, like deep down understood that we are all interconnected, that my well-being is tied to your well-being, you know? Wouldn't we be more inclined to cooperate?
Okay, yeah. I see where they're going with this.
Instead of constantly fighting over scraps,
Right.
we'd be working together to make sure everyone has enough.
So it's like less about me against you.
Exactly.
And more about us.
Exactly. Big shift, though. Big shift.
And that brings us to this idea of an evolution of consciousness.
Right. Which, I gotta admit, sounds kind of...
Out there.
Yeah, out there.
A little woo-woo. A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about here?
It-
Everyone's suddenly become psychic.
No. Okay, so Wondunna Foley is not talking about getting smarter in the traditional sense or inventing fancier gadgets. It's about, like you said, a fundamental shift in how we see ourselves, how we see the world, how we relate to everything.
All right, I'm listening. But still, what does that actually look like?
Well, they talk about mindfulness, for example.
Mindfulness. Okay, I've heard that word.
Right, and it's about, like, being present, aware of your thoughts and feelings, but not getting swept away by them.
So less reacting, more observing.
Yeah, something like that. And when you can do that, you can start to move beyond that ego-driven thinking, that me mentality.
See, I think this is where people get tripped up because it sounds so individual.
Right.
Like, how does Emmy being mindful fix the world's problems?
Good point. But Wondunna Foley connects that individual practice to a bigger picture, to cultivating a sense of collective awareness, realizing that our actions, even the small ones, have an impact on the whole.
The ripple effect.
Exactly, the ripple effect. So yeah, it starts with you, but it doesn't end there.
Okay, I'm starting to get it.
It's like each of us becoming more aware, more conscious. It contributes to a shift in the collective consciousness.
So it's not just about spaceships. It's about...
It's about us. It's about how we think, how we relate to each other.
And Wondunna Foley, they really don't shy away from the big sweeping statements, do they?
Yeah, no, they do not.
They talk about, like, love, freedom.
Authenticity.
Like, those are huge E.
Yeah, big words.
Big concepts.
But I think if we look closer, we can see how they actually have practical implications.
Okay, yeah, break it down for me.
So take love, for example.
Okay.
Wondunna Foley isn't talking about romantic love, not the hearts and flowers kind of.
Okay, good, because I was a little worried there.
They're talking about a more universal kind of love. Compassion, empathy.
Okay, I can see that.
Caring for others, even people you don't know, even people who are different from you.
So it's about action, not just a feeling.
Exactly.
What about truth? What does that look like in action?
Well, I think it's about a commitment to seeking knowledge, to understanding, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it challenges your beliefs.
Being open to being wrong.
Exactly. And then there's freedom.
Everyone loves freedom.
Sure, but what does it really mean? For Wondunna Foley, it's about empowering individuals,
Okay.
giving everyone the opportunity to reach their full potential. But it's also about recognizing our responsibilities to the collective.
Right, so it's not just about doing whatever you want.
No, it's about understanding that your actions have consequences for everyone else.
And that brings us to, I think, maybe the toughest one.
Authenticity.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
what does that even mean? Be yourself.
Well, it's definitely got that element to it, right? It's about living in alignment with who you truly are, not trying to be someone you're not.
Okay, but there's got to be more to it than that.
There is. It's also about recognizing and honoring your unique gifts.
Gifts.
Yeah, your talents, your skills, your passions, whatever it is that makes you,
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
And then it's about using those gifts to contribute to the world, to make a positive impact.
So it's not just about self-expression. It's about,
It's about service. It's about using who you are to make the world a better place.
and all this inner work, all this evolution of consciousness,
It leads to
it leads to Wondunna Foley's big vision, a peaceful, unified human experience
that extends.
that extends beyond Earth to the stars.
It's a pretty amazing vision, right?
It is. But I got to be honest, part of me is also like, is this just naive? I mean, space is big
Oh, it's huge.
and it's expensive.
Yeah.
And right now we're struggling with, climate change, inequality,
All the things.
all the things. Are we really ready to be gallivanting around the galaxy?
It's a valid concern. And Wondunna Foley acknowledges the challenges.
Because they do.
Oh, yeah. But they also point out that technology is constantly evolving.
Okay, true.
They talk about, for example, fusion power.
Fusion power, the holy grail,
Right. If we can crack that, it's like almost limitless clean energy.
which would change everything.
Everything. Space travel, energy production, you name it.
So it's not just about waiting for the right tech to come along. It's about,
It's about both, right? We need the tech to advance, but we also need to evolve as a species.
so that we don't just repeat the same mistakes.
Exactly. We can't go out into the cosmos and just start colonizing and exploiting all over again.
Right, got to break the cycle.
We need a different approach, one based on collaboration, on respect for all life forms.
And speaking of cycles, one thing I noticed throughout the text is this constant call to action.
Yeah, it's not just a theory, it's
It's a how-to guide.
in a way, yeah.
Wondunna Foley seems to be saying that creating this future, it's not passive. It's not something that just happens to us.
It's something we actively build, we participate in.
We are the builders,
We are the...
which is exciting, but also, I don't know, it can feel kind of overwhelming, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's easy to look at the big picture and feel like, what can I, one tiny person, possibly do?
Right. So how do we bridge that gap between the grand vision and, just living our daily lives?
That's the question, isn't it?
What can we actually do?
I think it starts with those small, everyday choices.
Okay.
How we treat the people around us, how we consume resources, how we engage in our communities.
It's about the little things adding up.
Yeah, it's about asking ourselves, are my actions driven by fear and scarcity?
Or by
Love, abundance, cooperation?
it's a choice every single time.
It is. And all those choices, they add up to the future.
Wondunna Foley leaves us with a big question, and I think it's one we should all be asking ourselves.
Hit us with it.
If humanity's future is truly limitless,
Ooh, I like that. Truly limitless.
what role will you choose to play?
That's a good one to sit with for a while.
It is. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into New Human Future.
Always a pleasure.
We hope it's given you some things to think about, some new perspectives to consider.
And maybe even inspired you to take action.
Exactly. The future is waiting to be built, and it's up to all of us to decide what it will look like.
Until next time, keep exploring.
Keep diving!
Keep wondering.
And we'll see you out there in the vastness of it all.
In the future.
All right, that's it for us.
See you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.